Hello traders, it's Samurai Trader here. Welcome to this recap, trade recap. In fact, this is not the session I was going to recap, but as I was just setting up my PowerPoint here, I'm about to show you, I fired off a couple of very straightforward trades on the RTY, which is the market we're going to be looking at. Now, this is Sunday, the 13th of July 2025. So it's the Globex session. The market's been open for around 1 hour 15 minutes now, and there's some great trading opportunities during the Globex session. However, the recap we're going to be doing is on a 4-tick Renko. This is a 2-tick on the RTY, which is very tradable during the after hours market, the Globex. But as you're about to see, we'll do a recap and look at some live trades I've taken, which I recorded on the 4-tick on the RTY in the New York afternoon session. Most of the time the 2-tick is just too fast to trade during the New York hours most of the time. Okay, we've got a few members that recently have been trading very successfully, but it's summer holidays right now, so the markets are slower. So let's have a look at this, traders. So how did they trade any market? The $1,000 a day challenge. Now I'm after, as you'll see, $200 a day per contract on average. Now it just depends on the time frame I'm trading, which I'll show you in a moment and explain. Now what I cover in these sessions you can apply to any market: stocks, futures, forex. I love to trade the ES. Look, I trade oil sometimes, mainly the RTY, the YM, and I love the 6J and the 6E currency futures markets. As always, I do need to pull up the disclaimer. There is a risk in trading. Please don't trade with money that you can't afford to lose. Stay on the simulator until you're consistently profitable. And a very quick advertisement. First of all, if you haven't downloaded my free training manual, please see the description link below. You can also download my free step-by-step $2,000 a day blueprint and the training video that goes with it, and you'll see me refer to this spreadsheet in a moment. Better still, become a member for $297. The links below. You can get my entire program, which is all of my indicators. There's over, I think there's over 200 videos now. It's just a ton of material, and as one member recently described my members area as a gold mine. And so very quick overview. You'll just see there's dozens of folders here. You log into each folder. It's got videos, indicators, daily targets. As I said, there's over 200 videos, and the great news is you don't have to watch them all, because I get you on the right track from day one on the trades to focus on. In fact, I have, as a bonus, we're nearly finished, stay with me, for $297 included in the $297, you can attend 1 month of my live coaching sessions as well. So every Tuesday and Wednesday evening, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I run 2-hour live sessions where I'm teaching traders how to day trade and scalp the markets. That's included in the lifetime access to my members area. Then after the first month, if you wish, you can drop me an email and say I'd love to continue these coaching sessions. That's $197 a month. However, that's optional and you're not signing up for those initially, so come and join me. Let's move on. Okay, trading as a business. This is a business, and I know many of you are watching this, have probably been watching hundreds of YouTube videos and looking at this. Look, I'm going to be very frank with the money management rules and everything I show you here. I'd love to say to you, oh yes, you'll romp $500 to $1,000 a day in trading the ES or the RTY. Is that possible? Absolutely. Is that realistic for newer traders or struggling traders? Absolutely not. However, $100 to $200 a day is extremely realistic, and if you go for 10 contracts by $100 a day, that's $1,000 a day. I'm going to show you how to do this. Now, I love scalping. I'm a scalper, which means I want to get in, get out, get paid. I don't trail. usually. I might go for a larger target if I'm selling or buying into a pivot, which you'll probably see me do in the recording in a moment. But I'm looking for markets with good daily volume. For an example, Sunday evening, you may be thinking, crumbs, are there any markets with good volume? Well, you've got the 6E, the 6J, the ES, you've got gold is absolutely kicking butt. All of these markets give you great volume. Now, unfortunately, on the RTY, in the Globex session, I don't always get filled. I'm trading 10 to 15 contracts, and I'll use a limit order, which means that I'm only willing to get in at a certain price. So I don't always get filled on my orders, which is a bit of a bummer. But on the ES, look, I don't think we'll have time in this recording to cover that, but I'll tell you what, the ES1 tick Renko kicks butt. As a scalper, it's fantastic. Okay, so here's the basic principle of most of my trading. I'm looking at trading in the direction of the higher time frame. Now, at times like here and down here, this is where we'll have a trade set up called the T3, which is a reversion to the mean, or where I get major divergence sets up. So up here and down here, but otherwise I'm looking for retracements back in the direction of the higher time frame, and this is what it then means to me. Now, I've recorded this, and this was far from a perfect trading session. Now, this is in the afternoon session, so 2:46, and I usually like to wrap my session up just before 3 p.m. okay, Central Standard Time. But here I'll show you the live recording of this, and here I got out of a trade far too early. I was kicking myself there, and it should have been a pivot magnet, not a pivot bounce, by the way, for members watching. So this is 10 minutes of recording. Yeah, sorry, 10 minutes of recording, 10 minutes of trading just here. Now, the same day I was about to record, well, actually I was running a live webinar, and just before the session I fired off a couple of trades here with that session there as well. Actually, one trade, let me get it right here. And this is one of these reversion to the mean trades I was talking about, which is a snapback. We call them T3s. But on the way down there was a setup there, there was another one here, you had a beautiful one there, you had a potential one there, here, and note the black line and the white line. That's my trade line. Okay, so I want you to look at how it turns on a dime and keeps you out of so many losing trades, and yet if you want to trail with it, it's fantastic. And then I've got my turning point indicator, which is the arrows you see. Now, with the arrows you would not be in until the next candle, but it kicks butt. So that was the same day. So let's have a quick look at this. Now, it's so important, because if you don't have, some people say don't have a daily target, don't set trading goals. Well, they are so wrong, because when the why is big enough, the how will appear. And this is where traders also get it wrong. They are not setting the right targets and using the right money management. And what I mean by that, traders, to trade the RTY, typically the 4 tick, you need the trading account of $4,000. Now, your broker will say, oh, you only need a day trading margin of 500. That is right, but if you have a 16 tick loss, that's $80. Okay, it wipes out your account. But here's the great news for you. You can start on the micro, go for $20 a day, which is we're after 200 a day in the big contract. So a micro is 10% of the value. Just getting this, netting $20 a day in 12 weeks, as you'll see in a moment on the spreadsheet, you've now got 4,620. You can now switch over, and basically within 24 weeks you have the potential, as you're about to see, and if you add 6 weeks in on the simulator, that's 30 weeks of earning you $10,000 a week. Now let's just quickly go to this spreadsheet. How it works is, please stay with me, by the way, this is where traders get me to the trading, but the trading's only a small portion of it. Trading is 90% head stuff. Okay, it's about having a proper plan in place. So please stay with me, we will get to the setups. So $400 account, netting $20 a day. Within 11 weeks you've now got 3,006. Well, really within 12 weeks you got your $4,000 there. And how this table works, you only start trading an additional account or contract, I should say, each time you double your money. So when you go to 800, you start trading to a very sensible approach. We then roll over. Once we've got 4,000, now we can start trading the big contract. Within a further 12 weeks, we're now up to a 10 grand a week income. Our account size is now 46,000. This is the true potential. Now what we've done here, we've obeyed our money management rules and never ever risked any more than 2% of our account. And this is where traders get going broke time after time after time. They're not willing to do this, and all you need is 4 quick scalps or 3 slightly larger moves to hit your 200 a day. And once again, I'll show you how to do that. So for young guns that want to go for that 300 a day, well, within 8 weeks there's your 12,000 a week and 43,000. Now I will say you're going to get much larger moves, or your potential during New York is much greater, and we're talking about the 4 tick time frame here, where during the Globex session I trade the 2 tick. So well, we won't so much go to the charts. Well, maybe we will for a moment, and then I want to show you the recording. As I mentioned, we're live, and these are just what I call, and if we were still trading, you had an easy money trade there, you had an easy money trade right there. Okay, now why are these easy money trades? Okay, you can see here I've got a pivot. For members watching this was a T20-1 basically, and you had another one just here. You had some ruler ones there. These are just plain vanilla entries. You can see here we've got a cloud coming down, and so obviously I'm recording this at this time. It's no coincidence. And if we just go back over here, you'll see there's some great trends there as well. Look at my indicator here. Okay, see the arrows, it's telling me where to potentially get in the market and follow the cloud. So there's nothing spectacular about this trading session whatsoever. Now let me now show you the recording. Now where is that? Let me just pause it. I'll go and find it. Here we go. So there's no sound on this one, and what you'll actually see here, and I'll just pause this just here. So once again, this is a 4 tick Renko, and it means that each little step there is worth $10. And to net you $200 a day, you're after 20 of those after any commissions. Okay, so effectively that's all I need is 20 of those. And you may say, is that all you need? Well, traders, look at this once again. You just go for those 20 net steps a day, which is 40 ticks. You're financially set for life. Okay, 10,000 a week. I know a lot of you can't live on that, but at least you can pay a few bills. Seriously, this is the true potential, and you can apply exactly what I'm about to show you to any market, as I mentioned. But once again, everyone wants to take the shortcut. But here, if we look at this here, you may be thinking, why is this an entry? Remember a few minutes ago I said I use an anchor chart, and so this is and I wasn't on this trade, but here would have been just a classic. Oops, for members watching this was a 2D divergence trade. So down we come, we then get a retracement, and I'll fast forward this a little bit, and I'm out of that and I'm filled. Okay, now what I'm doing here, by the way, as a matter of interest, is just having a look at Fibonacci retracements. Now they don't form the foundation of any of my trading, by the way, but I'm blown away at how often our setups are at key Fibonacci levels. And what it actually does, traders, is that when you hit a key Fibonacci level and you've got one of our setups, it becomes what I call a loaded trade. I'm just having a look now. Look at me scrolling back here. I want you to notice all of those arrows. the easiest form of trading is with the trend. And see those white dots? Note how they pick turning points as well. Okay, now here is a trade that I stuffed up, by the way. So I run both a coaching sessions, but I also run a live trading room 3 days a week. And one thing with my members, I'm really forward, if I really upfront, if I stuff up a trade, I'll tell them. And talking and trading doesn't go hand in hand, by the way, but if I muck it up, it's how they learn also. For an example, I go to break even too early on this trade. This is actually meant to be a pivot magnet trade. So for members watching, I'm a fraction too far away from the pivot, but what I actually did here is I went to break even too early. Here's the pivot. See that blue line, that dashed line down there? That is a pivot. So I'm out of that trade, unfortunately, at break even. Right, picked up a couple of ticks. Now I could have re-entered. I realized virtually straight away, Ray, what have you done? And there's a Renko tail just there, which is a Renko tail trade is a trend continuation signal. So I should have jumped, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but I should have jumped straight back in on that trade. Now you can see this is how fast the market's moving. So it is very tradable, by the way, at that sort of speed, once you learn how to use your matrix, your ATM, etc. So I was quite angry with myself just there. Now my target, as I mentioned, is on the 4 tick is $200 a day. So it just depends on the market and the time frame and what actually works out to be. If you're wondering, I look at capital involved, how much capital, how many contracts I'm trading. For an example, on the 1 tick, you heard me right, on the 1 tick I'll trade 15 contracts, and you did hear that right. In fact, let me just I'm just looking at the ES right now, and hopefully this blows you away a little bit of it, but let me show you this. Okay, now we go, this is live right now, this is the 2 tick. Okay, and if we just go over to the 1 tick, you had a trade entry there, and there, and here's your T3 reversal. Now you may go and look at that, that means nothing there, that's stuff all. But traders, 3 6-step trades a day. That's 1 2 3 4 5 6, 3 of those a day. After commissions, that's over $200. So that's over 200, just 3 of these a day. Now where would have we been in on this T3? I would not have been in hand on heart until the close of the 4th candle. But then 1 2 3 4 5, I've touched 6. Now this is a counter trend trade. Okay, now we would have been filled. It touched 6. Just because it touches 6 does not mean you're filled, of course. Okay, so these are just plain vanilla. Members watching, so you've got a 2B there, you had another 2B there, you had there were probably 3Bs actually, and you just had a T20-1, you still would have been in probably a couple of those trades, and there is your plain vanilla T3. Now on a 1 tick, and once again, each one of these bricks and each step is worth $12.50. Okay, you don't have to, once again, what's the word for it, go for that 500 to 1,000 a day, because you can soon compound and add contracts very, very quickly. Okay, add to your position. Anyway, let's go back to this because I want to finish on this video for you. Where are we here? Okay, so down here, so I stuffed that one up. It was, look, it still picked up a few ticks. And for members watching this was a T3 again. Remember that reversion of the mean? Now here I got in very late just there on this T. Now I'm long here. I want to have my stop loss 1 tick below the swing down here, by the way. So you'll see I adjust my stop to 1 tick Now this is something I recommend that new traders don't do, and that is trade counter trend. All right, I've been trading now for 28 years. I'm very good at it, and the counter trend trading is a lot trickier. It really is. You want to stick with, see the blue cloud to the left and see the orange cloud. You want to trade in the direction of the cloud. Remember, my target here is $2,000, and you'll see it on most videos I do. It's either 1 or 2,000 depending on what I'm trading, and then I stop. I believe in what I call, and it works for me. I'm 65. I don't want to be sitting by my computer getting all stressed with my trading. I want to get in, get out, get paid. I believe in POQ, power of quitting. Now here we're now heading up. I'm going to, if I remember correctly, pull my stop down. The reason, and I nearly said it earlier with that ES trade, or that potential ES trade, when I'm trading counter trend trading, I'll get to break even as soon as I can. Okay, and just there I'd move my stop down. All that happened very quickly, and I was stopped out of that. Now I've gone short here. Okay, for members watching, this is a 2B pivot bounce, and we'll see what happens here. I can't remember. Now I'd extended my target just here. With most of my trading, I'll then usually use a fixed target. Okay, now just here it then stops me at a break even in a moment. That went down what, about 7 steps, traders, that particular move, which is $70. Remember, I only need to get my net 200 a contract. Now when it comes to money management, what that means is if you average on the 4 tick, okay, the way I do it, if you average $200 a day, that's a 5% return per day on your capital. 5% per day, never risking more than 2%. Now everything I'm trading here, traders, is based upon a pattern. Okay, so I'm looking at trading with a pattern, but I want you to notice the white and the black line, the trade line. Okay, just see. Now what I've done here, let me just pause this. I've just jumped ahead. I'd stopped trading there. By the way, legitimate long trades just here. Then we started to flatten out. Flat EMAs are evil. Okay, now it's also now 2:55, and this is my stand aside time, and I'll go ahead fairly quickly here. Look, I'll just move ahead there. Okay, so we're up after commissions, $2,066 in 10 minutes of trading. That was a bit of a fluff up just there. That was a potential trade. I wouldn't have taken that one. For members watching, most of you are aware I like to see some divergence when I pull back to the it's a 200 EMA, but once again hit the target, and I had that other little win of $800 that you'd seen. Let me just move ahead. So 5 trades, 1 break even, 4 wins. Let's see, so let's just go back to the charts for a moment, and here's that potential ES trade. Now on this one, and let me pull something up. First of all, for those that like trading the ES, look at that there. That's an exact 70.7% retracement. Why is that a big deal? 70.7 is a big deal, traders. Also, from our entry, where would have I taken this trade? Well, I could have got in literally on the close of that 3rd candle, but realistically I'd be in on the 4th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that only touched 5 ticks, by the way. I'm going to pull up a little sheet here which I think you'll find very interesting on trading the ES as well, because I know a lot of traders love the RTY, but ES of course is the king. So just one moment. So I just want to quickly show you this on scalping the ES1 tick. Now you can only scalp the ES1 tick realistically during the Globex session. When the market first opened today, for an example, at 5 p.m. Central, forget it for the first half an hour or so. It was far too fast. But if you sit back and you're patient, it slows right down, and then you can start trading it. And the reason I wanted to bring this up is that you go and get say 5 steps, so using a 16 tick stop, going for 16 net ticks a day, that's $200 a day. Okay, and you need basically 4 trades a day. If you go for your 6 ticks, okay, a 1-to-1 risk reward, you only need 3, and you can see within 12 weeks you basically earn your $10,000 a week trading 11 contracts. Let's just say 10 contracts at 200 a day. This is the true potential in trading the 1 tick, and I won't go through all of this because this is actually for members, but you can really kick butt on that market. So traders are, and just before we do finish up, why don't we just quickly go back to the charts and see what's happened since. Now I'm going to give you a little heads up here and just whet your appetite of the potential. You also just had a potential trade right here, and that's called a T20-1. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. There is your 6 steps. Now let me show you what I call the anchor chart 1. When we trade, we're looking at this time frame, a lower time frame, and we want to be trading in the direction of the higher time frame. See my trade line just there, and see how I had a little pullback just there. These are incredible win-loss ratios. I call them 16-13s. Now see up here this little bounce we've had. See up here what we're doing, we're bouncing on 2 major higher time frame EMAs. Everything I'm showing you here is based on a pattern. This here, yes, it was a 70.7% retracement. For members watching, it's also a T10 on your anchor chart 1. It's a T10, okay, which is a pattern. Now, to be extremely successful in this business, it's not about quantity, it's about quality trades. Okay, so you had, or you could have taken that one, and let me just go back, and I know I've jumped away from the look, that's not a perfect one. That one is that's not an entry there. Okay, that is you could have even jumped back in there. Note your trade line. You do not take a trade until your trade line hooks. That's why you're in there. Now you may look at that, well hang on, you skipped over that because there's an arrow. Why didn't you take that trade? Well, one, I'm hard up against the pivot, but look over at your anchor chart. I had green candles. After I have a pullback, excuse me, after I have a retracement or a pullback, I'm not going to jump back in until the candles on my higher time frame confirm the setup. Traders, this is not rocket science. It really isn't. It's about following a trading plan that's basically rules based and based on patterns. So why don't you come and join me as a member, attend my coaching sessions, and let me teach you how to basically scalp and day trade the market of your choice, whether it be the Russell, the NQ, the ES, gold. It really doesn't matter. And as I mentioned, you get 8 bonus coaching sessions. If you can't attend the coaching sessions, they are recorded. So if you can't attend the live ones, I should have said, they are recorded. So traders, I look forward to having you on board as a member. Oh, and please make sure you subscribe to my channel as well so you keep up to date. Thanks, traders. Hello traders, it's